we football. Flyer than a foosball, going harder than the balls. Inside a pool hall, AJ Cole, Ryan on some fantasy business. Living in that dream like they own their own team, man. They tell you how to win, but probably gonna lose if you get last place in the draft cause you snooze. It's really all luck. If your QB gets hurt, then you're fucked. Yeah, you're fucked. Now you own your buddy's money, plus your girlfriend hates you cause you can't see her on Sundays. Long days, long nights, figuring out your team. Still the next day you're listening to these idiots.
Hello and good football to all. This is the Shall We Football Podcast powered by Razzball. I'm Ryan, my co-hosts AJ and Colt. Coming up, NFL awards and playoff schmoozing with our guest, AJ's former roommate, my former tenant, and my current adopted adult son. Inspiration for the pronunciation game in episode 8-star of Netflix's Jewish Matchmaking, our collective son, Evan Carmison. Evan, say hello. All right, well done.
Welcome.
Lastly, we'll present the Mac Oracle Award for episode MVP, named for Mac Jones's middle name. Follow us on the artist formerly known as Twitter at SWF_podcast, at SWF_podcast. Watch us on Razzball Fantasy YouTube. Go to razzball.com to not suck at fantasy sports. No mores or don't. Gentlemen, shall we football?
Let's football.
Let's do it.
There is a substantial lag here for Evan.
As noted.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, you'll be experiencing that throughout, but Evan is just as good in the immediacy as he is 5 seconds later. So, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be a very exciting time for all of us. We're going to do our superlatives first. I believe we're all going to have a similar comeback player of the year. If we just want to knock that one out to get started, should we? Do we not?
I think there's a really clear, obvious answer.
The answer is Damar Hamlin. AJ, who is your answer?
There was talk about Damar Hamlin potentially even being cut.
I know, I saw that too. If he makes the team and plays one down, like
he's comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
If he plays one game, he's gonna win.
Agreed. Now, I'm gonna say that I think the actual comeback player of the year. No disrespect to Damar Hamlin.
You're going to say TJ Watt.
No, I'm going to say Jamal Adams.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the three I had that were under consideration for me it was Jamal Adams, Damar Hamlin, and Joey Bosa. But I think Joey Bosa is going to get hurt again because he plays for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
By process of elimination, Damar Hamlin almost got cut. And he, can maybe not going to play very much. Joey Bosa, again, Chargers injuries. Jamal Adams, arguably the best player at his position when he's healthy. That would be who I would go with. But you're right. If Damar Hamlin, and you know what? Yeah, I would be totally fine with it if Damar Hamlin won. I want the guy to succeed. I don't know if there's anyone out there who thinks otherwise.
The last time Jamal Adams played a full 16-game schedule was 2018.
The only
3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
The only thing that I would say is Tua.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good
one. Tua Tagovailoa.
No, that's an excellent one.
That's really good.
In his jiu-jitsu falling skills. I really think that's a legitimate option too,
for sure,
and one that I didn't think about. Ev, that's a really good call.
I got a dark horse one.
We would not tolerate all this lag from anyone except Netflix famous Evan.
That is accurate.
All right,
Colt, who's your dark horse?
Calvin Ridley.
I don't know if the NFL would give it to him.
But it's mental health too.
Gamble on that one.
No,
but
it's not. It's not all about the gambling. It's a mental health aspect too, which is what started.
Sure, but he missed last year. Yeah, he missed last year because he was suspended for gambling.
Yeah, I know. But
that's the NFL's not there yet. The NFL might be
a transcendent talent that walked away from the game, and then he got suspended for getting caught doing something most people do.
Yeah. It's like the thing where people talk a big game about being progressive on mental health, but
Yeah.
I guarantee you the NFL is going to side with 75%, and this is probably inaccurate, but it's a large percentage of the American population that just sees gamblers as fucking degenerates and not sick individuals like drug addicts and alcoholics and stuff. They're not there, and the NFL is not going to be that nuanced with all this. I can't conceive of
That
it.
makes sense. I did say it was a dark horse though, so
It is very dark.
It's very dark.
But
All right.
Good one. Good one.
I like out of all of that list, I think Tua, if it's not DeMar Hamlin, I think Tua may be, if he can stay
Agreed.
healthy for the entire year. I think that's the answer, F. I really do.
Yep.
All right,
That is
coach
a
of
good
the
one. Very
year.
good one.
Coach of the year, Evan, this is going to be your first opportunity to see how long your lag is. Let's hear your coach of the year.
5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, so my pick for coach of the year is going to be Dan Campbell of the Lions.
Yeah,
Going
great pick.
from 9-8 and barely missing the playoffs to possibly even winning the NFC North. So Dan Campbell is my pick for coach of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Coulter?
That is so good shit.
That was my pick too. I don't have a pivot. It's Dan Campbell, and there's no qualms about it for me. I think the Lions will confidently win the division, and I think Dan Campbell's a lock for coach of the year.
AJ.
I've got Robert Saleh. Dan Campbell was my 2 runner-ups were Doug Peterson and Dan Campbell. I think the Jaguars are going to win at least with their division. They're going to win at least 12 games. My predictor has them at 13-4. Robert Saleh, I have the Jets winning the division. If they go from 7-10, even with Aaron Rodgers, if they go from 7-10 to 12-5 where I have them, I don't think there's a question that he wins that. I have Dan Campbell and the Lions going from I think they were 9-8 or 8-9 to 10-7. The record is only going to be marginally better because they actually had a pretty good record last year, all things considered. So going from where they were to 10-7, 11-6 might get them there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the difference between what the Jets were last year at 7-10 and where I have them at 12-5, God forbid they win more games than that, I think it'll be runaway.
I don't hate that. That's a nice outside the box one. I had Dan Campbell too. I love Doug Peterson there. I think the strength of that division is going to hurt Doug Peterson with the easier schedule. I love Dan Campbell because he's been there to build that entire thing. I know Saleh has too, but you get the infusion of a Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers. Dan Campbell has kind of built it with little pieces here and there, and he's doing it with Jared Goff, and he's doing it with Ben Johnson, who had been through 6 or 7 different head coaches throughout his coaching career, and kind of taken things from everybody. I think that it really is a full coaching staff award, and I think the Lions are going to deserve it. But I like Bob Saleh there too.
The other one, dark horse for me, is Kevin Stefanski. If they can come back from being, 7-10 last year? Yeah, 7-10 last year. By the way, I want to state this officially. I am switching the Ravens and the Browns. I now have the Ravens making the playoffs at the 5th seed, going 11-6, and 12-5, not 11-6, and then basically switching with the Browns, who I now have at 11-6, 3rd in the division, missing the playoffs. I just couldn't sleep. I haven't slept since last week.
It's been 2 weeks since you made that prediction. He's a very tired boy. He's lost track of the number of days, the number of episodes. Thank you for that, and I will correct that in the logbook as well. The logbook.
But even if the Browns were to go 11-6, they were 7-10 last year. The turnaround is
it's
remarkable.
still
it would
market.
still be remarkable.
But
that's the thing, is that I think Dan Campbell, I love the idea, and he was one that came to mind for me. But I think the NFL is looking for big differences in record, and the Lions just won't deliver that. I don't think.
It is also a media voted situation. The defensive player or the coach of the year. All of these they're all AP awards. So like the
Yeah.
Associated Press is going to really latch onto the lines. I think storyline lines is going to be there.
God, if they win that Thanksgiving game, all bets are off. I think.
Let's go,
Yeah.
baby.
I think he
Right.
walks away with it.
Yeah. All right. Defensive rookie of the year. This is a little bit tougher one, I think, this season.
I like this one.
I like it too. It kind of provides something to think about. Well, Coulter, we'll start with you, and then we'll move to Ev, and Ev be ready after Colt.
All right, I'm going to go with Jalen Carter here. I know there's been some concerns about his off-field issues, and from what I could read up on, no defensive tackle has won Defensive Rookie of the Year since 2014. But I do think Carter can get in the conversation in this scheme of the Philadelphia defense. I mean, he's right at home with his former college players in Georgia. I think Carter can really make an impact year one, and they got to steal on him where they got him.
Yeah, I like that too. Evan, it's your turn, bud.
Three, four, go.
And there we go.
I got Christian Gonzalez of the Patriots. Like I said,
Why?
Christian
Not
Gonzalez
bad.
of the Patriots. You got one of the best. You got one of the best cornerbacks in the draft, going playing for Belichick, and Belichick has taken Ty Law, Malcolm Butler, Stephon Gilmore, and turned them into amazing cornerbacks. So if you take an already really good cornerback, give him to Bill Belichick, he's going to be the best of the year.
I love the analysis on that.
Yeah,
AJ.
there is history.
Yeah, I love that. I'll take Will Anderson Jr. I think he's the most talented guy in the draft. He's going to get the requisite playing time to be able to put up numbers and gain enough media attention by racking up sacks and TFLs. But we have recent precedent for, like Evan said, a corner that doesn't rack up crazy statistics, at least before you get into advanced metrics and analytics, with Sauce Gardner. So I love Christian Gonzalez. I love Devin Witherspoon more. And I think he's a better player. It's splitting hairs, but I think he's a better player, and he's going to have the opportunities to be able to show that. And then my dark horse is Jack Campbell, because I think this guy is going to have to make like 120 tackles for the Lions. So I think that you might end up getting a guy who, just based on pure numbers, is in the conversation. And if he can do things like, God, if he can rush the passer or force fumbles or catch some interceptions, stuff the stat sheet, because the Lions are going to be on defense a good amount, and they're going to need big plays. I think the opportunity is there for Jack Campbell.
Yep.
Linebacker
All
for the Lions.
Detroit Rock City Lions. All of my candidates for this award have been mentioned. I had Jack Campbell, I had Christian Gonzalez, and I had Will Anderson. I love Will Anderson as a player. I love what he did at Alabama. I picked Christian Gonzalez because of a lot of what Evan said. Bill Belichick does have a track record of taking really good corners. He loves to put his corners on an island. The corner meeting rooms in New England have long been told that you go in there and there's a whiteboard and you say, I'm guarding that guy, and that's your assignment for the day. And I think Christian Gonzalez is a good enough athlete. I think he's a good enough corner. He's got good enough instincts. He showed it at Oregon, that he'll be able to keep up with that, especially in a system where that secondary is asked to do one job. Like it's sort of the Belichick mantra: do your job, and his job is going to be cover one guy. And I think he's going to really shine. And like AJ said, the last year with Sauce Gardner being so good, especially with underlying metrics, and they're going to get a lot of playing time on prime time and on television too. So he's going to be a storyline, and I think the media is also going to latch onto that.
Juicy.
Yeah. All right. Offensive rookie of the year. Things get a little bit muddier here because there are so many different options. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
Colts.
I do.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Colt, why do you think so?
Like you said, there are quite a few options. My personal choice is one Bijan Robinson because I think the Falcons.
Are you sure that this is contentious, Colt?
I do.
I think Bijan. I think the Falcons are going to make the playoffs, and I think much of that is going to do with the success of the ground game with Arthur Smith and Bijan Robinson. I could see Bijan going 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns his rookie year. I mean, his first carry I think was 14 yards. His first preseason carry. I mean, he looked great. You saw a one-handed pass that he caught. I mean, he's supremely talented, and they drafted him 8th overall to use him. Running behind one of the best offensive lines in the game. So that's my pick. I mean, but there's quite a few others that were in consideration.
AJ, I think you're in consensus as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get the conjecture. Bijan Robinson is the best running back prospect since Saquon Barkley. He's going to get the lion's share of the carries behind an excellent offensive line. What else? I mean, I would say he's the odds-on favorite. He has to be. I didn't think there was much of a question.
No,
in
I
contention,
think there's a lot more to talk about.
I had Bryce Young,
Yeah,
Zigba. I mean, there's other guys.
The only way I think that he gets scooted off of the gold is if one of the quarterbacks is incredible from Jump Street. If Richardson, Young, or Stroud are like just unbelievable.
Andrew Luck rookie year.
Like they would have to be pretty massive.
Panthers would have to make the playoffs. CJ's. I mean, seriously, the Panthers would have to make the playoffs for Bryce Young.
Right.
The Texans are not making the playoffs. CJ Stroud would still have to be really, really good. In let's say a 6-win season, maybe, right?
Yeah. I mean, the wins aren't quite as important for rookies as they are for others, but
yeah.
I also had Jahmyr Gibbs and Jordan Addison were my other two, the dark horse.
Yeah.
Addison is in my favorite position to contribute as a rookie receiver.
That's why
he's the only one who's a number two. Okay, go ahead.
That's why I picked him. I picked Jordan Addison because Adam Thielen ran the third most routes, had the third most routes run last year of anybody literally ever. And Jordan Addison is stepping into that role opposite Justin Jefferson, who is going to demand the bulk of the coverage. And Addison's he's going to get a lot of chances one-on-one. He may not be great the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, but once he figures out NFL speed, he's already a great route runner. He's got great hands. He won the goddamn Biletnikoff as a sophomore with 17 touchdowns and 1,500 yards at fucking Pitt. He is in the best position to put up gaudy numbers in an offense that's going to be throwing the ball all over the field. Because I don't know if Alexander Madison is all that good, and he's fine. Their running game isn't going to be exceptional, and they're going to rely on Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson to score points. AJ,
what do you do if there's a bug on your touchscreen computer? Oh, got him, motherfucker! Now he's all over my finger.
That's what you do.
Settles that.
Oh,
yeah.
I hope it wasn't pregnant. It was a fly.
Evan, who's your rookie of the year?
3, 2, 1.
All right.
Go. Yep. Here we go.
So I assume you guys got to me because I can't hear anything. Wow. Offensive rookie. This is where you guys are going to hate me.
Okay.
I have Anthony Richardson.
Love it. I love you.
Oh
Evan.
yeah, Colt's gonna love
Uh,
the shit out of that.
They're gonna.
Yeah.
The Colts are going to be the second in the division, and they're actually going to be contending for a playoff spot. So, I had a feeling you would love me. Stroud and Young are both going to struggle this year, but I think Anthony Richardson is going to be the one to show us that he actually is going to be the best out of the three. And you were talking about Saquon. That was the last running back to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year back in 2018. So it's rare that it happens. So Anthony Richardson.
And there's a legitimate path that is absolutely the case. And like I can't, as many questions as I have about Anthony Richardson and what he can bring immediately to the NFL, there's an absolute path for that to be the case.
Great pick, Evan.
Yeah,
Great pick.
really, really good, Ev. All right, we're going to Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to start with AJ.
You're going to be very pleased with this, Ryan.
Okay.
I don't think this guy can play in the NFL longer than 3 years without winning a Defensive Player of the Year award, potentially one of multiple in his career, and that's Micah Parsons. The other two I have are Nick Bosa, which, I mean, repeating is difficult, but he won it last year, so he has to at least be in the conversation. And then I don't know how far advanced analytics can take a shutdown corner that doesn't have a ton of interceptions, but it happened with Stephon Gilmore. Sauce Gardner is my third one.
Wow, no TJ Watt.
No TJ Watt. You just can't trust him to stay healthy.
Yeah, that was my question mark for him too. Coulter, yours, please.
Mine was also Micah Parsons. He's just an absolute game wrecker. You can't contain him. Dallas is going to go pretty deep in the playoffs, in my opinion, and a lot of that's going to have to do with some of the sacks and forced fumbles and tackles for loss that result from Parsons just being that game wrecker. Honorable mentions for me would be Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, but I too do not trust the health of TJ Watt.
All right, 2 for 2 for Parsons. Ev, what is it?
Micah Parsons, 3 for 3. I'm not going to add anything.
Unanimous.
That's good.
And it's a clean sweep for Micah Parsons. 13
13
sacks his rookie year, 13 and a half last year. He was number 2 in the Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 years, including his rookie year.
Maisie Smith being there too.
Yeah.
They have an actual interior presence now.
Yep. I was going to add that as well, and
to clean it up a little bit for him.
And he's going to be primarily rushing the passer this year. So I fully expect anywhere from 16 to 21-ish sacks. If that's going to be his primary role, they're not going to back him off the line of scrimmage. I fully expect him to be around that area in sack total, and I don't think it's a close vote, really. I love Sauce Gardner as kind of a dark horse for you, AJ. But I think it's Micah Parsons to win, and I think he could, like you said, it's going to be one of a handful of these, I believe, for that young man.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe. Yeah.
Offensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year. We'll start with Ev Daddy on this one.
Papa E. 3, 2, 1. Get him.
I have Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Last year in 10 games with the 49ers, he had 1,200 total yards and 10 touchdowns, on pace for at least 2,000 and 13 touchdowns. If you give him an entire year with that team, he is going to break all kinds of records. So Christian McCaffrey is my pick.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Coulter.
I'm going with Jamar Chase, partially because he called it. and I believe him. He said I saw it on YouTube a few days ago. He called Joe Burrow being the MVP and him Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, last year we saw Chase go down with that hip injury. He missed a few games. He still put up over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. I think Chase stays healthy this year and will push for 1,800 yards, 15 touchdowns, leading all wide receivers.
Yeah, that's good. AJ.
I also have Jamar Chase. This is another, for me, this is sort of the Micah Parsons effect where it's like, this guy's got to win one some point. And Justin Jefferson just won it. These two, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, are not just wide receivers, but you could probably throw in Travis Kelce for what he does at his position. But those are the three guys that are like so far and away the best offensive skill position players in the NFL. And I would say that, like, just as a player, you know, excluding position, then I think Chase and Jefferson are by themselves. And, you know, it's tough to repeat just statistically. So I'll give it to Jamar Chase. And then the two I had as runners up are Jefferson and Kelce.
Yeah, I was going to give it to Travis Kelce just because of the body of work that he's put together, and I think he's going to continue to do that in this season. He's probably going to catch 110 to 130 footballs this year, looking well into the teens in touchdowns because they love to use him in the red zone, and he's such a weapon. I don't believe he's won this award at this point. No. And I don't know has there ever been a tight end that won this award? I don't know. Something I haven't looked up, but it would be a very rare thing, and he's a very rare player. And I think that he deserves something like this before he's outside of his prime. And then my runners up were Chase and Jefferson too, because I didn't think about Christian McCaffrey, Evan.
Ryan, it doesn't look like a tight end has ever won the AP version of the award going back to 1972. Yeah,
I didn't think so. And I so much of Patrick Mahomes' success is Travis Kelce dependent, with him being that security blanket and the easy outlet for him wherever he goes. It would be a shame for him to not be the first, really, because he's cementing his place as the greatest pass catching tight end of all time.
Agreed.
Cementing.
All right. Most valuable player, the Patrick Mahomes Award, until Mahomes retires. We'll start with Ev for your most valuable Mahomes.
Count it down. 3.
Wow.
Oh, there it goes.
It's going to be Josh Allen, actually.
My Lord.
This is the year the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, no.
He muted himself. Oh, geez. Couldn't be going any better. Abort.
Unmute. Oh, well.
Jesus Christmas.
Josh Stallion it is.
Josh Stallion.
Muted himself when he tries to unmute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nope, he's still not there. Let's just move on. He's very upset.
He's back.
All right, wait, I'm back.
Christ.
All right, Josh Allen of the Bills. The Bills are going to be the number 1 seed this year. They're going to lose 1, maybe 2 games, and it's going to be because of Josh Allen.
Okay, what we heard, Evan, was they're going to lose 1 or 2 games, and it's going to be because of Josh Allen, which I'm pretty sure is not what you meant to say.
I get what you meant.
Yeah, I get what you meant.
Pat Mahomes, the Bills are going to lose 1 or 2 games. That's it this year, and they're going to beat.
Yeah, there we go. The reason they're going to win between 15 and 16 games is because of Josh Allen. Yeah, we got you. Coulter, your most valuable Mahomes.
I'm stacking players here. I'm going Joe Burrow. Last year he threw for 475 yards, 35 touchdowns, This year, he has a
That's
better
not right.
offensive line.
That's not right. He threw for 4,700 yards.
He threw for a lot.
He
Yeah,
threw
he threw for a lot.
He threw for a shit ton of yards.
4,400 yards.
4,400.
Okay, I had 4,475. Sorry, I don't know where I got that stat from.
No, Colt, you said 475 is all. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I thought I said 4,475.
You were gonna say it. You stuttered, and then you were like,
Okay.
you know what? I'm gonna double down. He threw for 475 yards last year, and I know.
Okay.
It was really impressive, his efficiency, though, because he had 35 touchdowns in those 475 yards.
yeah. Highest
They
touchdown
brought him in the
percentage
red
rate
zone.
ever.
He was a red zone quarterback entirely.
Yeah. But I think the offensive line is going to be quite a bit better this year. And then a healthy Chase all season with T. Higgins and Joe Mixon still on the team. Low-key, he's going to catch a lot of balls too. And I don't know. Call me crazy, but I think this is the Bengals' year. I think they're going to take it all the way to the Super Bowl. And Burrow and Chase are MVP and Offensive Player of the Year.
All right, AJ. Get yourself together.
Did you hear his sigh? Did you catch that? Did everyone
No.
catch that well-placed sigh? Evan is
No.
beautiful. I'm just feeling a little giggly. I don't know. I've been waffling back and forth between Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and I'm gonna go back to Patrick Mahomes.
Back to back.
Because I'm going to go back to back because you look at Hurts and Burrow and the weapons that they wield, and you look at Mahomes. Mahomes, with the exception of Travis Kelce, is dealing with like early Tom Brady when he was throwing to like Troy Brown and his running backs were not Curtis Martin, and they were like, whatever they could, I don't know, Spencer Ware or whatever the fuck, whatever, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Oh, yeah. The law firm.
The law firm. Whatever it was, like, he was just running around in the beginning of his career, Tom Brady, with like just sort of whatever Bill Belichick could find after everyone else was done, rooting through the refuse of free agency and whatever. That's what Patrick Mahomes is doing right now with like Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Kadarius Toney and Isaiah Pacheco. Some of these guys might be good players, but so was Troy Brown to a degree.
Yeah.
They didn't put up crazy numbers, but that's what it reminds me of. And like, I think that's going to boost him back up there because they're like, holy Christ, this guy's doing it again. There's no Tyreek Hill. There's no Juju Smith-Schuster. I actually think Kadarius Toney is going to play, going to be a dude, but yeah, I think that works even further to Mahomes' advantage.
Yeah, so I call it the Patrick Mahomes Award currently because they could give it to him every single season. Every time I miss a couple of weeks watching the Chiefs play, I get this inkling that maybe Mahomes isn't like, maybe he's not that good. Maybe he's like, a little overrated. And then I watch the Chiefs again, and within the first 3 minutes of the football game, you're like, nope, not overrated. He's that good. Holy shit. And with what he's doing, it is unreal. Voter fatigue is a real thing, and LeBron dealt with it his entire career. He could have won MVP 12 times throughout the course of his NBA career. And Mahomes is going to be the same way. I have Joe Burrow as the answer that I'm giving to this particular query because of voter fatigue. This is going to end up being a Patrick Mahomes every other year award. And this isn't the year. He's going to probably win 6 or 7 MVPs, but this is Joe Burrow's to get. He was comeback player of the year 2 years ago. He was 4th in MVP voting last year. And, even if he misses the first couple of weeks with a calf or he goes down and the Bengals stink while he's gone because Kyle Allen can't throw it past the line of scrimmage, it's just going to prove once again how valuable Joe Burrow is when he comes back and throws for 4,700 yards and 40 touchdowns.
475 yards.
407. Yeah. 732 yards. and 40 touchdowns. No,
Kyle Allen. See, they were utilizing Kyle Allen incorrectly because he's really a between the 20s kind of guy, and Joe Burrow is sort of like your Mariano Rivera.
Yeah. He's closer
Of football. Yeah, he's
he
closer.
throws a nice little
475 yards, 45 touchdowns. That's what I'm
nice
thinking.
little back shoulder cutter, breaking bats in the red zone is Joe Burrow. So that was what, one Mahomes, one Josh Allen, and two Joe Burrows.
Two Burrows.
I want to throw in a dark horse who I was actually considering putting in there, and then I'm gonna go back to offensive player of the year for a second because they play on the same team, and that's Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne.
Yeah,
I think the Jags are just gonna be those dudes this year. I think they're gonna be a fucking problem for everybody, and I think Trevor Lawrence takes a big step this year. I don't know if it's big enough to get into this conversation. I think Travis Etienne puts the league on fucking notice.
Yeah, I agree.
This year, if they can get their line shit right with Robinson being suspended, if Anton Harrison is that dude up front, then these guys are going to be scary. I have them going 13-4, but
yeah, this is Trevor Lawrence's coming out party this year.
We've said that before, I think.
Well, he looked fabulous at the end of last year.
He did.
And that I think that just continues with the addition of Calvin Ridley and the maturation of Travis Etienne. And you're right, AJ. It all boils down to the offensive line. Evan's waving at people now. All right, let's move on to the playoffs as Evan glad hands his legion of fans because of his Netflix fame. All right, boys, we're going to start.
He's safely tucked away in his home.
Yeah.
And yet there are still fans.
There are still fans. Okay, let's quickly go over our playoff seedings once again before we crack into our NFC AFC title game predictions.
Evan, you're excluded from this part.
Yeah, you don't have to participate in this part of the exercise. AJ, what were your AFC seedings, please?
Yes. Kansas City, Jacksonville, the New York Jets, Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Los Angeles Chargers, Buffalo at 7.
Okay. Coulter.
And then, we're going to go conference by conference. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay,
your
AFC,
please.
Oh, Evan, there's your crotch.
I have Kansas City, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Miami, Buffalo, Denver, Cleveland.
All right, mine are
juicy.
Yeah. The Denver pick just
Colts is my favorite by far. Great job, Colts.
It just tickles my downstairs.
Miami in there too, I know.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I have the Chiefs at 1, Bengals 2, Jaguars 3, Bills 4, Jets 5, Ravens 6, and then the Chargers at 7.
Were you second guessing while you were talking
I didn't
there?
write my numbers big enough in my little notebook.
Okay.
So I had to look a little closer. My glasses aren't big enough.
Right.
AJ, NFC, please.
NFC, Philly, San Fran, New Orleans at 3. The Lions proudly at the 4th seed. Dallas, Evan, what the fuck? Minnesota and Seattle at 7. Evan, your sighs are audible, my man. They're audible and they're allowed.
Never change, Ev. Just keep sighing right into that microphone. Coulter, NFC, please.
1, I have Philadelphia. 2, San Francisco. 3, Dallas. 4, Detroit. 5, Seattle. 6, Atlanta. 7, New Orleans.
All right.
Wait. Where did you have Dallas, Colt?
3.
Winners
Can't
of the
do that.
East.
Yeah. No, you had the Eagles 1, correct?
Right.
Yeah. And Dallas has to be at least 5.
Dallas has to be at least 5.
Shoot. Okay. My bad.
They're on a wild card. All good.
Yeah, all good.
I had the 49ers at 1, Eagles at 2, our beloved Lions at 3, the Saints at 4, Cowboys 5, Seahawks, and the Green Bay Packers making the playoffs at 7.
Now that is juicy.
I know. I didn't feel great about it. Did not feel great about it. Okay, boys and other boys.
Yeah.
Hebrews and Hebrews. Let's go through our championship matchups. Let's go to the NFC, those National Football Conference Championship game and winner predictions, please. We don't have to have scores at this particular juncture. We'll get there later.
Are you stalling?
Yeah, absolutely. Ev,
For
let's
what?
go. I don't know. Look at the timer up there. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, but it's not time. That time is not just set aside for you to stall.
Well, now you're taking up more time.
No, stalling is because you're waiting for something. You're creating time so you can do something.
What
What is the
doing
thing
now?
you're going to do?
So for
This
the
is-
NFC
they call
Championship
this
game, this
complaining.
is where it's going to get really interesting, and you guys are going to hate me.
Let's
I
hear it.
have the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Go for it.
49ers
Whoa.
Cowboys, classic early 90s matchup.
Aikman Young.
I think the Cowboys are going to miraculously
Oh, baby. Set the internet on fire once again, Ev.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Cowboys are going to miraculously and actually beat the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Deion
Did
Sanders.
you not?
And it's
Wait,
gonna be on the back.
whoa. Did you not do this last year?
Going to be on the back of Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons.
Wait for the lag to catch up.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay.
There it
I
is.
thought I
I'm gonna continue
remembered
to do it until they
correctly.
win.
Lag is hysterical, but I thought I remembered last year. Evan also picked the Cowboys. I love it. It's not inconceivable. Pardon the double negative.
No, it's really not. In the NFC, like anything.
There's the laugh to the lag.
In
There
the
it is.
NFC, anything is really possible. That's true about this conference.
Anything is possible, Ryan, in the NFC if you are one of the Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles, and I
Maybe
think you
Lions.
can probably leave it there.
Maybe the Lions. AJ, let's hear your NFC Championship game and the victor.
So the NFC Championship game is predictable. It is the 49ers at the Eagles, with the Eagles moving on.
Yeah.
Very cut and dry.
Yeah.
It's probably, I haven't looked at the odds, but my guess is that this is probably the your lowest betting odds is to get this matchup.
Yeah.
Unimpressive.
I'm
excited. I want to watch it.
I think the Eagles 49ers is going to be the case. I want it to be the Eagles and the Lions, with the Eagles moving on.
You can want that all you want. There are 3 teams in this conference that are capable of making it, unless they beat each other earlier in the playoffs. Like you guys, I don't know what you have. I did this through a predictor. So like these teams did not have the chance to beat each other prior, based on the seeding. Like they would not have matched up prior. So I know that this is conceivable for how you guys have it. Ryan, I know these are 1 and 2 for you, so this is how it would work. But whatever Colt and Evan have, Evan didn't do seeding, but there is a chance that like this couldn't happen. That's the only way that one of those 3 teams, the 2 of those 3 teams, the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Eagles don't make it, is if somehow they end up beating each other based on seeding prior to the championship game.
Yeah. And the most feasible defeat would be Cowboys over 49ers. Based on the way the games would roll out.
Yeah. But then you're still left with 2 of those 3 teams. So somebody else would then have to beat the Cowboys, which it would be the most conceivable of the 3 to me. Not making it would be somebody beating the Cowboys to play probably the Eagles in the championship game. Yeah. Don't really see it.
Let's go Lions.
Go Lions.
I also do think it's going to be the 49ers, but I do have the Eagles advancing. AFC, Ev, who you got?
3,
2, 1.
You're
bang,
on.
bang.
Get him. Here he goes. It's gonna sink the putt.
Why?
So for the AFC,
Oh,
obviously the Bills are going to be the number 1 seed overall, and they're going to make it to the AFC Championship game. And I think it was AJ who said it earlier. The lag is so bad on my end. I can't barely understand anything anybody is saying.
Perfect.
I actually have the Jags making it to the AFC Championship game on the back of
love it.
Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. They're going to make it. I think the Bills are going to beat the Jags, but Jags and Bills in the AFC Championship game. That's my firm belief.
All right.
I love
like
that. I
do
fucking
too.
love
That's
that.
a great
I
matchup.
do
Of
too. Sucks me wherever my dick is at. Coulter.
I'm going with Kansas City versus Cincinnati, with Cincinnati coming out on top this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chalky, but I like it too. I also almost had that. I have Bengals Jags.
Chalky.
I have
God, I
Bengals
love that.
Jaguars. Our beloved. We have adopted the Jaguars as a podcast. I believe we love the black and
have.
teal.
Yep.
Yeah,
fight on.
well, hold on. I want to roll that back because we need to roll it out in style.
That's true.
Our,
All right,
our love.
let's retract that statement. Stricken
You-
from the record.
Stricken it.
I do still believe the Jaguars are going to make the AFC title game. I do think the Bengals, though, are going to win. I think they're a more complete team.
Yeah.
Yep. So that leaves AJ with. Did you say Eagles advancing?
I had the Eagles advancing in the NFC. In the AFC, I have the New York Jets at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
Whoa,
that
that's
is
sexy.
so spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had the Jets ranked 7th, and I had the Jaguars ranked
Ninth?
2nd. No.
In
10th,
the
excuse me,
seedings.
10th.
Okay.
No. No, overall, you're right. 10th, I had the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And the way things fell, the Jets ended up advancing. So I had the Jets at Kansas City losing to Kansas City. But any of these is conceivable. This is much different than the NFC. Like the Jags, the Bengals, wouldn't surprise me at all. The only thing that surprised me is that the Chiefs weren't in there.
Yeah. I once I came down to it and I started thinking, and my decision to omit the Chiefs was not made quickly. It took some contemplation. I had to poop twice. I had to get all the badness out. Talked it over with some friends. Asked my wife. We're a Jaguars household.
Yeah, it's true. True that.
All right, Super Bowl. You had Eagles, and did you just say it out loud? And I can't remember what you said. Bengals.
If you're talking to me,
that would be you.
then it's the Chief. It's a rematch. The Chiefs and the Eagles.
Okay, Chiefs and Eagles.
I have that the Chiefs are winning, and I want so much that the Eagles are winning. I'm sorry, Evan.
He's twitching down there.
His video just sped up, and it looked like he was having some sort of seizure exorcism type deal.
I was wondering if anyone else saw that.
Now he's frozen. No need to respond, Evan. You're still beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I have the Chiefs winning, unfortunately. Listen, I might revisit this because I've still not made up my mind. I don't know. I'll make the call before the first game. I'll say that.
We will revisit this topic for our beloved listeners at home after the mid-season point. At some point, we'll talk about what may have changed within here. I withhold judgment until week 5. Either way, wild preliminary predictions. Coulter.
My Super Bowl, I have Cincinnati versus Philadelphia, with Philadelphia coming out on top. This is the
I
Eagles'
want
year.
Philly to slay the dragon.
Me too. Me too.
I
They
want
just
them to
did.
slay the Chiefs.
Ah.
No, I want them to slay the Chiefs. The Bengals aren't the dragon.
Do you think those
But,
fans
yeah.
in Philly deserve 2 Super Bowls in 6 years?
I think Jalen Hurts does.
I think so,
like
too.
my love for Jalen Hurts supersedes
Agreed.
we'll just say feelings I have about Philly that are growing in a positive direction because of the associations we've made with people who are more lovable degenerates and also Eagles fans. But they didn't grow up there. They adopted the Eagles.
Yeah, they're very
They
much not from Philadelphia.
They weren't
Not at
born in
all.
the dark. You merely adopted it. I was born in the dark.
In the mud. All right.
No.
So, Ev, you
In the
have
mud.
Bills Cowboys. I believe that's a rematch of 1993.
Wow. 3, 2, 1. Get him. Get him. Go. Sink that putt. Sink that putt.
Okay, so I assume again the lag is so bad I can't hear anything, so I apologize to everyone who's listening to this.
All of it in.
Yeah, and I think this is the year that Josh Allen and the Bills will win their first Super Bowl. I believe it their first.
It will be their first.
Love that.
It will be their first. Right now, we have 3 different Super Bowl winners, and I have none of those teams
If you
in
think I
my
have to
Super Bowl
say,
game.
Colts
Here
are
he goes.
not going to do what anyone else thinks. So Bills over the Cowboys.
Well done, Ev. Well done. I have Bengals, and I have the Bengals and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I've got the Bengals winning. I'm a big Joe
Wow.
Burrow guy. Big Joe Burrow
Amen.
guy. I think the Eagles may be top to bottom roster wise more talented. I'm pretty sure they are. Who has the better quarterback though? And the Bengals offensive line is going to be better. Is it going to be able to withstand the Georgia defense from 2021? I don't know. But
The Georgia Beagles, TM.
yeah, the Georgia Delphia Feagles. Where'd he go?
Yeah, you're gonna need to now. Remember when we talked about stalling? Now you're gonna need to because Evan is gone somehow. And
Yeah,
up
Evan
next
just
is the thing
disappeared
we
from
need him for.
the most important thing in the podcast that we need him for. It's his namesake. It's
Yeah,
the words Evan can't say, and if we can't prove that Evan can't say them, how are we gonna do this program anymore?
So here's what we're gonna do: is you're gonna do it, not Evan, because there's just no conceivable way that with his lag this is gonna work. So
Good point.
you're
That's true.
going to do it, Ryan. I'm sorry, Evan. You're still Netflix famous. Whatever, fuck it. We love you. But Ryan's gonna do this. Okay, Ryan. This is the pronunciation game. Things our old roommate, this gentleman, Netflix famous Evan Carmison, can't say. He was the muse and flame for this game originally. Evan, hopefully the lag is getting to you because you're not doing this. Ryan is, because there's just no conceivable way this can work with you and your lag. So Ryan, this is the Kansas City Chiefs edition. I know it's sad, Evan. I can't tell if he's making a face. The lag is so bad. Chiefs edition roster as of 8/29/23. This first gentleman is a first round pick from this year, edge rusher, Kansas State. Ryan, say this slow so I can make sure I understand and can judge this properly. What is it?
Sure. Yeah. This is Felix Anudike Uzoma, edge from Kansas State.
Felix Anudike Uzama, not Uzoma. It is Uzama.
All right.
Damn.
Wild.
I've
right?
actually heard it both ways.
Yeah, so I found a clip of him saying it. He was saying that he once heard that he was happy to hear somebody in his life that he didn't expect to pronounce it correctly, and he said the
Nice.
name out loud, and it was Uzama, which was confusing to me. I ran it back
And to
like 10
all.
times just to be
Yeah.
sure, but yeah, okay.
And to
Next
all.
one, linebacker, Wisconsin. What is his name, Ryan?
His name is.
I think he's a rookie too.
He is a second-year linebacker out of Wisconsin. His name is Leopold Chanel.
Sorry, bud. Leopold Chanel.
What the fuck?
No.
That's what I said. I said, "What the fuck, Leo?" With your
Damn.
big ass name and your
I
E
like
and
how
your A in the wrong
like how-
places.
The pronunciation for Leopold is Lee
Say it. Tell them what it is.
Hold, Lee emphasized, AH like you're sighing in relief. And then pulled like pulling your pud. That's a euphemism for jerking off.
That's really good. That's really good. You still got it wrong. Next one. Interior offensive lineman from the North Carolina State University. Go Pack. Except in 2
Joseph-
weeks when Notre Dame shits all over them. Hope you can hear that, Wes and friends. Go ahead, Ryan.
AJ's very excited about a Notre Dame team that beat a junior varsity Navy squad. Joseph Tooney is his name, I believe.
Well done. Very well
I
done.
got 1 out of 3.
Joseph Tooney, 1 out of 3. Okay, go ahead and butcher this one for me real quick.
Yeah, John Christian, Kaimi,
Yeah.
whatever.
Now, I could ask Evan if that was correct, but it'll take a little while. So,
It
Colt,
will.
how did that go? What do you think?
75 percentile.
75%. No one gives a shit. Okay, congratulations
passing
on winning the
grade.
McCork Award. It's Netflix famous Evan. We're gonna clap. Evan,
Evan.
you're not gonna
Clapping.
respond because it's not gonna come through until a full 24 hours later. Last week's winner, Chef Coulter Snowdy. Yeah,
Thank you.
Evan's clapping now. Evan, don't respond to this because the lag is just gonna kill the whole thing. Ryan, take us home. But first, Evan, we love you. I'm sorry that this episode ended up being so bizarre with all your lag.
I
Hopefully
truly
we can get
enjoyed
this
it.
worked out. Yeah, no, I mean, it was for the best. It was hysterical and amazing, and you're beautiful, and everyone's gonna want to date you and when they see you on the YouTubes, and it's gonna be great. Ryan, take us home. You know what? Tell Evan you love him real quick.
Evan, I love you. And as soon as I stop talking and tell you this sweet Texas news article, I want you to say, as soon as you hear it, Texas is back, please. All right. Thanks for listening to the Shall We
only
Football
afterwards.
Podcast. Please subscribe to our responsibly sourced program on any podcast platform and Fantasy Football by Razzball, where our humble podcast can now also be found on any platform as well. That's a little redundant. Either way. Also, now subscribe to the Razzball Fantasy YouTube channel for video versions of our program. They are back. Follow them on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Razzball and at Razzball NFL. Colt's writing fantasy articles there. Check those out. Give him clicks.
Texas is back.
I wasn't done yet.
All right, Ryan.
That's a negative lag. That's a negative lag.
No, it's not. It makes sense. Go finish.
All right. Colt's also writing fantasy articles. Check them out. They're going to be links to our fine program as well at fantasy.razzball.com. Follow us on the artist formerly known as Twitter at SWF_podcast. That's
Give me that Texas news, baby.
_podcast. Big 12 commissioner Brett Yormark told Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire that he was going to be in attendance in Austin and to whip the Longhorns' ass. Now, Steve Sarkisian is wondering if that's fair because Texas loves to whine because Texas is back.